Hi, I'm venusohara and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to tell you a very quick story called I Didn't Know He Was Married. Dun, dun, dun. Anyway, this is something that happened to me several years ago and I've always wanted to share this story, but I thought now was the right time. Anyway, this story. So this was about, I don't know how many years ago, but several years ago. I met this guy and there was just an instant attraction. There were fireworks. It was just, and there was, I don't know really why it was. We had great conversations and it was just something that I couldn't even describe. We didn't really know that much about each other. It was just like the energy really. And it's kind of magical when that kind of attraction arises. So I really wanted to make the most of this energy and go for it kind of thing. But a couple of times when we were supposed to have dates, he flaked on me the last minute, so that means that he kind of cancelled. And I was so annoyed because I've been looking forward to meeting him all day long. But unfortunately, this flaking occurred a couple of times and it made me want it more, even though I should have said, hey, you should respect my time a bit more. So every time we were supposed to meet, I never knew if it was actually going to happen. And when it did, it was like, oh my God, even better. And then the sex was kind of, it was kind of conventional, nothing special technique-wise, but that just goes to prove that energy is everything and attraction. So it just felt like the best sex of my life, just because there was a massive attraction there. But as well as the flaking, there were some other things that I wasn't completely, there were some alarm bells looking back. And we always used to meet in my house, never in his house. That was something that didn't seem to be an alarm bell at first. I just thought, well, we're kind of getting to know each other. And I just imagined that one day I would get an invitation to his place. And anyway, and also because he'd flaked on me several times, I didn't really want to propose meeting up with him. I kind of let him kind of make the arrangements or the proposals to meet, let's say. And so I kind of wait for his messages, and because he was more busy than I was, because I was working from home and I was a lot more flexible and he had a very busy job. So anyway, but one day, it was a Wednesday night or a Tuesday night, one day in the week. It was quite late and I was kind of thinking about him, and I decided for a change to actually send him a message to see if he wanted to meet that week. And I sent the message, and shortly after I sent the message, my battery died on my phone. And then, I don't know when it was, maybe in half an hour later, I went to bed and I had my rabbit vibrator in my hand. I thought I needed an orgasm before bed. And I also plugged in my phone, and it took a while for the battery to kind of charge up. And meanwhile, so I had my battery in one hand, the phone's charging, and my neighbour below me was having wild sex, and this woman was having this explosive orgasm. And at that point, the messages started arriving in my phone, and I picked up my phone and I saw a message from the guy I'd been seeing saying, yeah, but Thursday I can meet you, but it'll have to be the last time because my wife is coming back. And I was just like, what? Wife? What wife? It was the first I'd heard about it, and I felt completely, I just stared at the wall for maybe 2 hours after that. Obviously put the rabbit down, I was not horny anymore. And then on top of it, this woman just wouldn't stop having an orgasm below me. So it was just a completely surreal moment where time kind of stopped. And then suddenly it's 2 a.m. and I was just completely shocked. And also, a few years ago in my life, I think I've been a commitment phobe, mainly because I've seen so many terrible examples of relationships around me that I've not really been inspired. I've seen so many kind of infidelities, lies, double lives, etc. And even I had some friends who confided their double lives, they confided in me. And when they did, I actually kind of began to empathize a little bit with their situation of being in a marriage or a long-term relationship and just going through the motions and feeling passion elsewhere, and that temptation and how it was making you feel alive, etc. So I began to have a lot of empathy for these double lifers. So much so that I even created a website in Spanish called No Sabes Con Quien Duermes, which doesn't exist anymore. But it was double life confession, so it was kind of content supplied by the users anonymously, so I didn't have to do anything to just generate, and it had so many visits, so many views. It's unbelievable, without me having to do anything at all. And then, but at this moment, I was kind of like, all these stories didn't really have an emotional effect upon me, because I just thought that's everyone else's kind of thing, until that moment when I had the rabbit in my hand and I found out the guy I was seeing was married. And then I felt suddenly very guilty about the fact that I did have this website, because I wasn't ever personally affected by the decisions of these double lifers until that moment. So it was just a real, oh my God. But then he did actually write in the message as well, but if you don't want to meet, I will understand. And I was like, too right, we're not meet. So anyway, I wait till the next day to write back. I didn't want to write at 2:00 in the morning. And I wrote back, definitely not. Thanks for telling me. Definitely not. We're definitely not meeting. So yeah, but it was very, very annoying. But in that time of my life, I was always kind of attracting people who were in relationships or who were married, and the ones who were in relationships kind of played down their relationships. They were saying they had an open relationship or blah blah blah. And there was another guy at the same time who kind of said that he didn't even tell me he was an open relationship. I found out from someone else. But then it was so open. Well, this was at a different time from the guy with the flaker. But I just found out one day, or I opened Facebook one day and I say, so-and-so's got married. And I was like, what? But last week you were hitting on me. I couldn't believe it. So it's very annoying when someone you think you like, they're a little bit mysterious, and sometimes you think it makes them even more attractive, and then you find out that they're with someone else. But in that moment, I think it's definitely the best thing to do is just take a step back. It's very tempting once you're already sexually invested in that person to actually go ahead and just have the forbidden fruit sex anyway, but it's definitely important not to, because I think if you do go ahead with it, you're like saying to the universe, I am worth this, but when you're not, you're worth so much more. I think it's my advice to anyone who's in that situation is to definitely get out of that situation, because otherwise you'll end up attracting more situations like that. Yeah, so I thought I would share this story and I hope someone finds it helpful. And if you're in a situation like that, I would advise you to stop, to stay and get a good sex toy. Anyway, if you have anything to add to this, please don't hesitate to leave a comment below. And if you have any suggestions for new videos, don't hesitate to write to me at venusohara.org or on Instagram at venusohara. Thanks for watching.